Now, in this class, we'll calculate elastic potential energy in a stretched wire. So, when you stretch the wire, you are doing work against the interatomic forces which are present in the wire. Let us consider a simple wire having length L, and this is a cross sectional area A. So when you apply a tensile stress, you know very well what is meant by tensile stress. It is used to stretch the body or wire. Tensile stress. The Young's modulus of the wire, like made up of steel or copper, whatever it is, that is Young's modulus is Y, right? Now force has been applied F. So force per area, which is called stress. So there is a observation of elongation or change in length, which is called as delta L. Of course, I am taking it as small l for my convenience. You know very well that y is equal to f by a delta L by L. Now here I am writing again it as small l by capital L. Now I am extracting this one, y into small l by capital L is equals to force per area. F is equals to y into L by capital L into area. This is actually the force which is applied to make it elongation. And further increasing, let us say work. If you want to do work is in the form of energy which is stored. If you choose dw is a work for the infinitesimal length is dl, and further increasing, generally this is called as f into dl. dw is equals to f into dl, right? Obviously w is equals to integration f dot dl, where dl is infinitesimal length, and further increasing the length by applying force that indicates now doing work. Now we substitute all the which is there in that, we'll get formula that gives energy stored in a stretched wire, not compressed wire. This is stretched wire. Now what are the limits for this? Initially there was elongation 0 to the final elongation L. So W is equals to 0 to L y L A by capital L dl. So W is equals to 0 to L y A L L dl. W is equals to work done is equal to y is a constant, A L capital L original length, and integration 0 to L dl, right? Now W is equal to YA by L square LDL by 2. This is work done, right? I am rewriting this again. W is equal to half y as it is, Young's modulus, right? And I am multiplying and dividing with the capital L, so that L by capital L whole square remained with A and L, right? So what you write actually, W is equals to half into Y into small l by capital L into volume, right? Now how to write this one? This is called as change in length by original length, which is called as strain. This is called as strain, right? Now we will rewrite again. So W work done is equal to half into Young's modulus into strain square into volume. Now expand Y, then you will come to conclusion. What is that actually? Young's modulus means stress by strain into strain square into volume. So work is equals to half into stress into strain into volume. Stress into strain into. So this is called W by volume. Potential energy per volume is equal to half into stress sigma into strain. This is actually the energy stored or stretched in a wire. Okay. Now applications of elastic behavior of materials. How the steel behaves in construction of the buildings, all that. This plays important role in the daily life because we construct buildings and we should acquire, or we should know the precise knowledge of elastic behavior of materials. For example, if we design a building or structural design of columns, like we can say pillars, beams and supports, require the strength of the materials we used, because how much it can bear the strength. Beyond that, what happens? You know that beyond that, if it is not bearing that load, automatically it breaks or collapse. So have you, I think generally, have you ever seen this type of beams and pillars? These are called as a pillars, we can say columns. Sometimes you see that U type of shape, we can say beams. We can say that a simple support like this, where these are the, have you, I think most of you people have seen the bridges or buildings, constructing a large buildings or multi-store buildings, you observe it, I think, right? So for all them, what are the maximum limit load and what is the cross section of the material, or like iron rod can be used to bear the load. The cross sectional area means the diameter of the steel rod also playing important role, that most probably we take precaution to bear the maximum load beyond the limit or more than the limit actually. We shall see simple example also. Basically cranes, you know that the cranes are used to lift the heavy weight bodies, like, and generally observe it in a, while you are immersing Lord Ganesha, they are using cranes, right? So crane has a metal rope. Of course, wrapping of wires are making a rope called as a thick rope or a more diameter rope, right? So the rope is being pulled in terms of pulleys, right? It can be most probably, suppose what is the thickness of the rope, how it can be designed to lift the a proper load, or we can say weight. What are the conditions? If you say a steel, suppose a steel, what is a steel? Steel has a yield strength. We have seen in the behavior of wire under the increasing load. Yield strength of the steel, approximately it is about 300 into 10 power 6 Newton per meter square, right? Now if you use a steel rope, now that depends upon the weight whether it is capable of lifting or not, otherwise it breaks in the middle part. What is the yield strength, or like stress is force per area or W per area. Now we want to design A. Actually A is equals to W by strength, means stress. What is the condition? A must be greater in order to lift it, the area of the cross section of the wire, are at least equal W by sigma y. So what is A? A must be greater than W, means mass of the mg into sigma y, right? Suppose if you want to use 1 metric ton or 10 metric tons, however it is, suppose 1 metric ton means 10 tons, 1000 kg. So the mass, if you want to lift it as 10 metric tons, let us say 10 metric tons. What is 10 metric tons? Means A must be greater than or equal to 10 power 4 kg, 10 power 4 into 10. Now of course I am using it as G10, and the steel wire you are using, and 300 into 10 power 6. So approximately you will get it as a cross sectional area should be greater than or equal to 3.3 into 10 power 4 meter square area. What is the corresponding radius of the wire? If you choose this particularly the cross sectional area 3.3 into 10 power 4 meter square, approximately the radius, approximately it is about 1 centimeter. So this is the radius of the wire, steel wire can be chosen, but we can say for safety measurements, we take 3 times of that one, approximately 3 centimeters of cross section of the radius is required to lift 10 metric tons. Means 10 metric ton means you can say 10 into 1000 kg, 10 power 4 kg. So this is a simple arrangement where R is appear to be 3 centimeters. This is a general way where they can assume the strength of the wire to lift the heavy weighted bodies, right? So see that this is a simple how the bridge construction. Generally a bridge can be designed such that it can withstand load its own load and traffic, right, and traffic and wind support and the load of winds again. These have to be bared by the bridge, and in that the beams and columns are very common, and you can see that. So the here the beam should not sorry the beam this beam should not be bent more or too much. Let us consider a simple case. A loaded with a beam is loaded at the center and supported near the ends, right. A bar of length L, right, and breadth B, length L and breadth B and depth D. Depth D. What is that? Depth again, see that you can choose depth, so D. At, at the center, particularly, this is delta, right, and load of this one W. So a bar of length and breadth and depth D when loaded at the center by a load W, sags by an amount, sags by W, sags by an amount, delta is equal to weight L cube by 4 BD cube Young's modulus y. This is simple calculated one. Here you can choose that is what is this D depth. So delta inversely proportional to D cube, and means delta proportional D power minus 3. Right. Now from that we see that to reduce the bending for given a load, one should use the material of long Young's modulus, so that delta should be less when y is more, right. And for a material, the increasing the depth rather than the breadth, what happens now? It is more effective in reducing the bending, so we can reduce the bending. So increasing the depth rather than breadth means this is already we have seen the relation. Now this would be again very lesser value, right. Now this type of bending, like in a deep bar bending, like this is a bar. Now the deep bar bending in that way, which is called as buckling, this process is called as buckling process, right. Now to avoid this type of things, one can, one can use a shape which can bears the maximum load, which is called like I shape type of columns. Most you choose, I think. You see this is to be preferred to bear the more load and reducing the cost also, right. Now we choose different types of cross sections. Normally this is a simple type of beam. This is called rectangular section of a bar, and other one is the bent form. This is a bent form. Actually this is the one bent form. This is a thin bar, we observe that how it can be buckled. Right, and other one is a simple column. Here we observe the two types of pillars or columns. Pillars are very common in construction of buildings. Now this is like a round edge, and this is called distributed edge. This will bear more load. This will bear more load than the first one. The precise design of the building has to take into account conditions where under which it will function, and cost, long period, and reliability and usable materials also important for the durability of the building. Right, now when you observe rocks, Everest, why they are in the pyramid shape, or if you see the sand, they it is heap of sand will be in the pyramid shape. Why it is occupying, and what is happening, and what is the stress, and how it can be calculated, let's say in a simple format. Here a mountain base is under uniform compression. This is a base under uniform compression and provides some shearing stress to the rocks under which they can flow. Rocks will fall down generally, right? This is due to all materials on the top should be less than the critical shearing at which rock flow. So the shearing stress can be applied so that rocks will fall down. Now suppose say that a mountain of height h, the force per unit area due to that weight, force per unit area due to that weight is nothing but pressure, which will be called as h dg, h rho g, h dg. G is the acceleration due to gravity, where it is by the earth actually, height, and the type of material or density of the material. Density of the material of the rock can be used. The material at the bottom experiences force in the vertical direction and slides the mountain free. Therefore, this is not the case of pressure or like a bulk modulus, bulk compression, or like there is a shear component or shear stress component approximately equal to h rho g. Right, now what is the elastic limit of the typical rock? Elastic limit of the typical rock, which is approximately equal to 30 into 10 power 7 Newton per meter square. Now you equate this one. What is the density of the rock? Again, the density of the rock is equal to 3 into 10 power 3 kg per meter cube. Now equate it and they will get approximate height of the rock. So 30 into 10 power 7 is equal to height into density d into g value 10. 30 into 10 power 7 height, and what is the density? Density we have to 3 into 10 power 3 into 10. Right, now h is equals to approximately calculations, you will get it as 10 kilometer. We obtain more than the height of the Everest. Right, more than the height of the Everest. So That's what that more than approximately we obtain 10 kilometers, which is approximately reaching the Everest height. This is a reason more than this one, no rock has been built. So Mount Everest is a topest rock, because there are shear stresses are there where they fall down again, where they can flow, and at the bottom they can be balanced, so that more than this height you cannot imagine, we cannot expect this rock of the. So the shearing stress, of course, that all depends on the density of the rock and strength, typical elastic limit or strength, yield strength, all can be taken into account, right? We shall see some important problems related to Young's modulus, bulk modulus, and which are problems set in the textbook. We shall see, we all solve the problems in the next session. Thank you.